Right before finals week, Chloe, the school's resident rich girl and prom queen, volunteered to help everyone blow off some steam. That night, the entire senior class showed up at the most exclusive club in the city. The only person Chloe didn't invite was me. But looking at the photos flexing on Instagram and Snapchat, I didn't shed a tear. I put on my noise-canceling headphones and focused on my textbooks. In my last life, I was the target. I saw Chloe's posts. I rushed to the club out of concern and walked right into her, confessing her love to my boyfriend. I swallowed my pride. I tried to be the responsible one. I begged my classmates to go home and rest, to focus on the exams that would determine our futures. And what did I get? Pure atred. You can't have fun, so you won't let anyone else have fun, huh? It wasn't until I snapped photos and sent them to the parents' group chat that everyone was dragged home. They all aced their exams. They all got into Ivy Leagues, and I was completely ostracized. Today, my boyfriend, Liam, and I both got our acceptance letters. Chloe posted a suicide note on social media and downed a bottle of sleeping pills that night at the club. After I had interrupted her confession, she had gotten wasted. She ended up alone in an escape room game, stripped, and someone filmed it after Chloe got her stomach pumped. Liam and the rest of the class lost their minds. To avenge their fallen angel, they kidnapped me. They filmed videos of me being tortured. They blackmailed my parents, forcing them to jump off a rooftop. They faked my suicide. They forged a note saying I was sleeping around. And the guilt of killing my parents drove me to drink pesticide in a basement. After I died, the whole class popped champagne. Liam finally got with Chloe. It was only after I died that I learned Chloe's true identity. But then I opened my eyes. I was back. I was back to the night. She offered to treat the whole class. This time I decided to give them exactly what they wanted. Finals are practically here. I know everyone is stressing out. So tonight is on me. Black card energy. Only I'm taking you guys to the hottest spot in town. Amid the cheers, Chloe was surrounded like a celebrity, holding a platinum credit card high in the air. My hand froze on the classroom door handle. Inside, the voices got louder. By the way, whatever you do not tell Luna. She's such a buzzkill. She'll definitely snitch to the teachers or our parents. Laughter erupted. Chloe flipped her long hair, playing the role of the benevolent queen. That sentence hit me like a bucket of ice water. This scene was too familiar. I had already lived through this. Realizing where I was, let go of the handle and backed away from the door. I was reborn. The realization rang in my head, making my whole body tremble, not from fear, from excitement. In my last life, I hadn't heard this conversation. Clearly, everyone kept their mouths shut. Even Liam, my boyfriend, just told me to go home early and rest. Thought he cared about me. Now I know he was just covering his tracks. His heart was already with Chloe, the heiress. Luna is hot, but she's such a nerd. She's obsessed with me. What can I do? I can't dump her right before finals. We're classmates. I can't be that cruel. When Chloe had defended him back then, calling him kind, she had slipped a love letter into his hand. You guys stop. Luna is desperate. This exam is her only ticket out of mediocrity. She has to try hard. And just like that, Chloe was the saintly, rich beauty and Liam was the gentle golden boy, class president, and I was the clown obsessed with him. But Liam forgot something. He was the one who stalked me for 3 months, begging me to say yes. I only studied so hard because I promised my parents I'd get valedictorian if they let me date him. Thinking about what was coming, my hands went cold. In a few hours, the class would be at the club. Chloe would accidentally forget to block me from her story. I would see it. Then she would confess to Liam in front of everyone. I would show up, fight with her, and she'd end up drunk and alone. It was all a setup. Remembering the hell I went through, I pulled out my phone and walked away from the classroom. Once I was in a quiet corner, I called my parents. I asked for my private tutor to come over tonight. Mom, the exams are practically here. Every second counts. No brax. Want to study tonight? This time, I wasn't going to stop them. While the whole class was sneaking around, gathering at the rendezvous point, I was sitting in front of my tutor. While they were raising glasses and cheering, I walked over to a vase of water and dropped my phone into it. I watched the screen flicker and die. A smile finally crept onto my face. All right, I said to the tutor, let's get back to calculus. At the club, the bass was thumping against eardrums, syncing with adrenaline-filled heartbeats. Some students hesitated, staring at the drinks in their hands. Chloe, finals are literally on Monday. Is drinking really a good idea if anyone finds out? Chloe, her designer dress shimmering under the strobe lights, laughed it off. She was clinging to Liam's arm. The whole class is here. Who's gonna snitch if we all keep quiet? Nobody knows. The only person with a big mouth didn't get an invite. Relax. Chloe claimed she knew people at this club and told everyone to drink up. Between the lights and the peer pressure, the hesitation evaporated. Chloe's got us. She's loaded. It's just one night. We need to decompress. Besides, we crushed the mock exams. Her average is way higher than the other classes. Consider this a pre-celebration. Everyone is here except Luna. If she wasn't Liam's girl, we wouldn't even tolerate her. Someone mentioned my name. Liam, already flushed from a few shots, slammed his glass down and sneered. Don't mention her. I'm already regretting it. After tonight, I'm dumping Luna. The cheers got louder. Chloe smiled, satisfied. She slyly pulled out her phone, snapped a grid of photos, and hit post visibility. Only Luna. Talking about me made Liam look disgusted. He drank more, letting Chloe hold his hand. He looked like he was in heaven. Luna and I are different. She follows me around like a puppy. She has to grind just to crack the top 10. Look at me. I barely try. And I'm number 1. She probably thinks we're going to the same college. Liam raised an eyebrow, looking smug. I applied to a school I know she can't get into. Someone like her. She's not in my league. I only learned he said these things after I died in my last life. But now I didn't care where Liam went to college. This time I was going to make sure he didn't go to college at all. Calculating the time. Thinking I had seen the photos and was rushing over, Chloe decided to make her move. She stood in front of everyone and started her confession. Liam, graduation is coming. I don't want any regrets. I know you have a girlfriend, but I have to be honest, Liam, I like you. The DJ switched the track from EDM to a slow ballad. The spotlight hit Chloe and Liam. Chloe was dressed to kill, looking vulnerable and expensive. Liam stared into her eyes, swallowed hard, and felt his resolve crumble. Chloe, She put a finger to his lips, her eyes darting to the entrance. She frowned slightly when she didn't see me, stopping him from speaking too soon. Don't answer yet. I know you wouldn't betray Luna. I'm just so jealous of her. Wait until this song ends. Then tell me. She looked so fragile, so heartbroken. It hit Liam right in the chest. There were teenagers running on hormones and adrenaline. The dozens of classmates surrounding them started chanting, pushing for a yes. Say yes. Say yes, Liam. You legend. Chloe is 1,000 times better than Luna. Why are you hesitating? Dump the nerd and get with the queen. What are you waiting for, Liam? Under the pressure, Liam's wandering eyes focused. He looked at Chloe and his expression hardened into determination. Chloe smiled, but she kept glancing at the door. Sweat beaded on her forehead. She gripped her dress. Come on, say yes. Chloe's nervous. She bit her lip. I still wasn't there. While the club was reaching its boiling point was lying comfortably on my sofa. Late that night, my parents came home from the office. When they saw me awake, they looked surprised. I cut straight to the chase. Dad, I don't want to sponsor that scholarship student anymore. The one named Chloe. Cancel the secondary credit card I authorized for her. My father, a man who viewed emotion as an inefficiency in business, didn't look up from his tablet immediately. He took a sip of his scotch. Chloe? The daughter of the driver? The girl we've been sponsoring for tuition and living expenses since her father passed. Yes, I said, my voice steady. I've reviewed her spending. It's no longer educational. She's using the emergency fund I authorized for her textbooks to fund a lifestyle that disrupts her studies. And I paused, letting the implication hang. She is actively sabotaging my academic performance. My mother set down her book. That got her attention. Sabotaging you? She's leading the senior class into a binge drinking session tonight. 2 days before finals. She tried to lure me there. I stayed home to ensure I secure valedictorian. My father finally looked at me. He tapped his phone screen. You are prioritizing the family legacy. She is becoming a liability. Considered it done. I'll have the accountant freeze her assets immediately. Effective now. Thank you, Dad. I went back to my room, but I didn't study. I watched the clock. 11:45 p.m. At the club, the timeline was correcting itself, but with a twist I had orchestrated. The club, 12:15 a.m. The music was deafening. Chloe felt the vibration of the bass in her chest, but for the first time, it didn't feel like power. It felt like a countdown. She had checked the door 50 times. Luna wasn't coming. Liam was drunk. Sloppy drunk. He was draped over her, his breath hot and smelling of cheap tequila and expensive whiskey. So, he slurred, when do we tell the nerd to get lost? Soon. Chloe snapped, her patience fraying. She signaled the waiter for another round, desperate to keep the momentum going. If Luna didn't show up to cause a scene, Chloe couldn't play the victim. If she couldn't play the victim, She was just a girl standing in a VIP booth she couldn't afford. The waiter, a man with a jagged scar on his chin and zero patience for teenagers, approached. He didn't bring bottles. He brought a black leather folder. "We're closing the tab for the shift change," he said flatly. "Card needs to be run again for the pre-auth." "Fine," Chloe said, rolling her eyes. She reached into her clutch and pulled out the platinum card, the supplementary card attached to the Luna Family Trust. She slapped it on the tray with a flourish. "Keep it open." The waiter walked away. 2 minutes later, he was back. He wasn't alone. 2 large bouncers stood behind him. "Cards declined," the waiter said. He didn't whisper. The music seemed to dip at that exact moment. The circle of classmates, who had been worshipping Chloe all night, froze. "That's impossible." Chloe laughed, a shrill, nervous sound. "Try it again. It's a black card limit. Code 05. Do not honor. Contact issuer," the waiter recited. "I tried it 3 times. You owe us $12,000. Liam blinked, trying to focus. "Babe, just use the other one." Chloe didn't have another one. She felt the blood drain from her face. I think my dad froze it because I'm out late. It's a mistake." "12,000, the waiter repeated. "Pay up or we call the cops. Theft of services." "Liam," Chloe whispered, shaking his arm. "Liam, pay him. I'll pay you back tomorrow." Liam laughed, a wet, confused sound. "I don't have 12 grand, Chloe. I have like $80. The silence in the VIP booth was suffocating. The classmates, the ones who had cheered for the Queen an hour ago, began to back away. "Hey, I'm gonna head out," one guy muttered. "Sit down," the bouncer growled. "Nobody leaves until the bill is paid." Panic set in. Real, sober panic. "Call Luna," someone shouted. "Luna will pay it. She always pays." Chloe's hands shook as she pulled out her phone. She dialed Luna.
Ring, ring, ring.
"The subscriber you have dialed is currently unavailable." She dialed again. And again. "She's not picking up." Chloe shrieked, tears streaming down her face, ruining her perfect makeup. "Time's up," the waiter said. He spoke into his radio. "Manager to VIP 1. Call the precinct." The next morning, the sun didn't rise. It glared. I sat in the exam hall, my pencil sharpened, my water bottle clear and cold on the desk. The room was silent, save for the ticking clock. Then the doors opened. It was a parade of the walking dead. They shuffled in, looking gray, sickly, and terrified. Liam looked the worst. His eyes were bloodshot, his skin pasty. He wore the same clothes as yesterday. They all did. They had spent the night in a holding cell. My father, thorough as always, had ensured the police understood that the stolen credit card report came from the cardholder himself. They weren't just held for the bill. They were held for investigation of fraud and underage consumption. Their parents had to bail them out at 6 a.m. Liam walked past my desk. He smelled of jail soap and vomit. He stopped, looking at me with a mix of desperation and anger. "Luna," he croaked. "Where were you?" "We called you." I looked up from my notes, my expression perfectly puzzled. "I was sleeping, Liam. We have finals today."
Why?
"What happened?" "We got arrested," he hissed. Chloe's card declined. "We were in a cell all night. I haven't slept. I haven't studied." "Oh my God," I whispered, loud enough for the proctor to glance over. "That's terrible. But why didn't Chloe just pay? She's the heiress, right?" Liam looked over at Chloe. She was sitting 3 rows back, her head in her hands, shaking. She looked small. "Take your seats," the proctor barked. "Exam begins in 5 minutes." I crushed the exam. Calculus was a breeze. Physics was second nature. While I was calculating velocity and friction, I could hear Liam retching into a trash can in the back of the room. Chloe spent the entire 3 hours staring at a blank page, tears dripping onto the Scantron sheet. The week following finals was usually a time of celebration. For the senior class, it was a funeral. Rumors flew. The rich girl facade had shattered the moment the police called Chloe's actual mother, a nice woman who worked double shifts at a diner and had no idea her daughter was pretending to be a millionaire. I sat in the cafeteria, eating a salad. I was alone, but this time, it was a peaceful solitude.
Luna.
I didn't look up. I knew the voice. Liam slid into the seat opposite me. He looked better than he had at the exam, but his eyes were desperate. "I think I failed calc," he said. "That's unfortunate," I replied, turning a page of my book. "It's your fault," he said, his voice trembling with suppressed rage. I finally looked at him. "Excuse me? If you had come to the club, you would have paid. You always pay. None of this would have happened." I closed my book. "Let me get this straight. You wanted to dump me publicly, humiliate me while confessing your love to Chloe, and you're mad that I didn't show up to finance my own execution." Liam froze. How? How did you know? I know everything, Liam. I know you stalked me for 3 months because your dad's business is failing and you needed my family's connections. I know Chloe is a charity case my father sponsored, and I know you two have been laughing at me behind my back for a year. I leaned in, my voice dropping to a whisper. I didn't kill your future, Liam.
You did.
You bet on the wrong girl. You thought you were trading up to a platinum credit card, but you traded a diamond for a piece of glass. Luna, wait. He reached for my hand. It was just a mistake. I was drunk. I love you. We're the power couple, remember? Valedictorian and class president. I'm valedictorian. I corrected him. You? You'll be lucky to graduate. And by the way, I sent the photos of you doing lines in the club bathroom to the admissions board at Harvard. Conduct code violation. Liam's face went white. You didn't. Check your email. I stood up and walked away. I didn't look back. Chloe didn't come to school for 3 days. When she did, she looked like a ghost. My father had officially cut the funding. No more tuition, no more apartment, no more allowance. She was being transferred to the public school district for the final month, but she showed up to clean out her locker. I was there, waiting. She saw me and her eyes narrowed. The sweet, innocent angel mask was gone. This was the face I saw in my last life before she injected me with pesticide.
Pure malice.
You knew, she spat. You set me up. I simply stopped holding you up, I said calmly. Gravity did the rest. You think you won? She stepped closer, lowering her voice. I have nothing to lose now, Luna. You took my life. You took my reputation. I took back my money, I corrected. You never had a life, Chloe. You had my life, borrowed on high interest, and the debt is due. She laughed, a manic sound. Be careful, Luna. Accidents happen, especially to rich girls who walk home alone. Is that a threat? It's a promise. I smiled.
Good.
I was hoping you'd say that. I tapped the brooch on my blazer. A small red light blinked once. Camera and microphone. High definition.
Glau upolat.
You just threatened a student on school property after being arrested for fraud. That's a probation violation, Chloe. 2 security guards turned the corner. I had called them 5 minutes ago. Escort her off the premises, I told them. And send this footage to the district attorney. Chloe screamed as they grabbed her arms. She screamed curses. She screamed about how unfair it was. She screamed that she should have killed me when she had the chance. Everyone in the hallway heard it. The final nail in her coffin. She wasn't the victim. She was the villain. Graduation day was crisp and bright. I stood at the podium as valedictorian. The crowd was huge. My parents were in the front row, looking proud, or as proud as they could look, satisfied on their investment. Liam was there, sitting in the back row. He had barely passed. Harvard had rescinded his offer. Yale had rescinded his offer. He was going to community college, and his father's business had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy the week prior. Without the connection to my family, investors pulled out. Chloe wasn't there. She was in a juvenile detention center, awaiting trial for attempted assault and grand larceny. I adjusted the microphone. They say high school is the best time of your life. I began, looking out at the sea of faces, the classmates who had mocked me, the ones who had been ready to watch me break. But I believe it is merely a test of character, of resilience, and of knowing who you are when the music stops and the lights come on. I locked eyes with Liam. Some of us studied, I said, and some of us partied. Today, we see the results. I finished my speech to polite applause. I didn't care about their validation. As I walked off the stage, I felt a vibration in my pocket. A text message. Unknown number, this isn't over. I'll be out in 6 months. It was Chloe. Smuggled phone, probably. I typed back, I know. I'll be waiting. Try harder next time. I dropped the phone into the nearest trash can. I had a plane to catch. I was going to Paris for the summer before starting at Stanford. I had a life to live, my life. Fully reclaimed, fully mine. The nightmare was over. The queen was dead. Long live the queen.